Hello, mate. You all right? Just getting all set up now, by the way. Hello, Veezu. You all right, mate? Oh, yeah, just getting all set up now. Just the results will be in about 20 minutes, I reckon, half an hour. So I'm just getting all set up on the socials, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens. To be honest, I don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully it'll be a good result. Hopefully, Delta and Veezu will win, mate. I think if Delta and Veezu win, I think it'll be a big win, mate. Oh yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah, nice one. But yeah, like I said, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? What do you reckon? Do you reckon do you reckon Uber's going to win? I need to start being more professional. Look at me here. I've only just woke up. You need to start being more professional, mate. Professional streaming incoming next time. Nearly broke my chair. Yeah, I think so, because what happens is Uber has been charging VAT on passenger side. So their fares are going to be 20% more because of VAT and stuff, where private hire companies don't have to. They charge VAT on the commission that they take from the drivers. So if Uber wins today, your local companies will have to charge VAT on the passenger fares, which means every fare would have to go up by 20%. Do you know what I mean? Which is just going to outprice them at the market, and Uber will dominate, won't it? Even though they're already dominant, do you get me? It's going to be, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I'm going to put the, I think they're on it 9:45 to get the result. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be very interesting. Right. Oh, 100%, Mohammed. 100%, mate. If they win today, they'll dominate. They'll get rid of everyone. Do you know what I mean? They will. They'll get rid of everyone, and that's the shame, really, about it. So Delta and Veezu have already previously won. They won last time, but then Uber appealed. So this is Uber's attempt at getting overrun. So if Uber lose, will they owe drivers back pay? No, it's not like that, mate. No, it's not like that. So this is all to do with. So what I'll tell you is, so what kind of, like, I'm no judge. I'm no, like, you know what I mean. I don't know the ins and outs, but obviously what I've read up online and stuff about it is Uber's got to charge the VAT on the passenger fare, right? So Uber's got to charge 20% VAT on the passenger fare, right? They got told to do it years ago. So what happened was Uber's gone, hold on a minute, we have to charge the customers VAT. Why doesn't the local private hire companies got to charge the passengers, customers VAT? So they weren't happy with it, and that's where the court cases come in. Do you reckon, Andy? Do you reckon they're going to win? I don't know, mate. They won originally, Andy, didn't he? They won originally. This is the appeal. Do you know what I mean? This is the appeal. We'll just check the court case now and see what's happening. I don't know if this. No, they're still not live yet. So they've got, I'll tell you the schedule now. Delta. No, I can't get on. I can't get on the live. So what I've read online, it's 9:45 the hearing's on. I got about they tried to fundraise like 300 grand and he got like 70 quid or something, didn't he? Oh, it was so bad. Yeah, but don't forget though, it's not just Delta. Veezu's behind it. A few local companies are behind it. And Veezu's £1 million company now. Veezu's massive. So they've definitely got the funds behind it. But it's just going to change the game massively if they win. Will it benefit the drivers? Not really. It depends. It might do it indirectly, mate. This is more the fact of looking after your local private hire companies, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like your Deltas, like your Alphas, even your smaller companies. Every little town and village has got their own private hire company, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. So if they win, it's gonna be obviously quite bad, isn't it? I can't access the live stream though. I don't know if any use have you any use tried to access it? It's not working on my side. Who's gonna lose? I think so, mate, because they lost originally. They lost originally. Yeah, I can't get the live working. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, Andy. So that's 100%. Well, technically, no, they don't have to. Yeah, they have to change like Uber's model. Sorry, yeah. So at the moment, they had to charge VAT to the customer side, and then I think last year they paused it. So they said, "Listen, stop doing it for now until this court case is over." Do you know what I mean? I'm not too sure. Does Bolt charge VAT? Is Bolt within Uber? Similar rules for Uber? I'm not too sure, mate. Yeah, but that's the worry. If Uber does win, every local company will have to put 20% on their fares. And you know Uber's so cheap. So imagine like a small local airport private eye company with like 20 cars and you got to put 20% on the fare. They're going to outprice themselves and Uber's going to win, aren't they? I think this is Uber's plan all along. Total domination, like flipping Dr. Evil and a cat, in it? That's the director of Uber, sat in the office now, stroking his cat. Mate, they lost. Tiger, they lost, mate. Yeah, they lost the original case. Uber and Veezu won it. Do you know what I mean? So this is the appeal. So if they lose the appeal, that's it, game over. But yet, I can't get the flipping. And you get the video up because I can't get the video live on their website. It's not loading. Up and coming. Surely it's black and white. If the local companies are VAT registered, they should be charging VAT as standard. No, Miles. So what happens is, mate, it's the way the contract is between passenger, company, and driver. So if you think about it, if like this is Delta here, Delta goes to the passenger and goes, "Yeah, there's your driver, mate," and the customer technically pays the driver direct, doesn't he? Then Delta just takes the commission and pays the VAT on the commission. But the way Uber works is Uber takes the full contract. Yeah, so they've got to charge the VAT on the fare, and then they pay the driver. Do you know what I mean? So you're more like a worker with Uber, with the workers' rights. Where we're like your local companies, like your Deltas and your Alphas, you're self-employed still. You got no rights. Do you know what I mean? You don't have like your holiday pay and all that crap. Do you know what I mean? So the way it's thing. But what Uber's doing is Uber wants all of the private hire companies to charge VAT on the passenger, not on a commission, which means that every local company will have to put their prices up by 20%. Exactly, mate. Yeah, exactly. The holiday pay and all that crap. But the holiday pay is just wangled within the figures. Do you know what I mean? If I give you 20 quid and I go, you know what, I've got to start paying holiday pay, I'll give you 18 quid plus 2 quid holiday pay. Do you know what I mean? Very, very clever with the figures and the algorithm and all that, mate. Very clever. Yes, so all the local firms will go up by 20% as well. Let me just see. Holiday pay was the driver's fault for complaining. The original ACDC, whatever they're called. Yeah, that's what gave Uber the power to rewrite the private hire laws and stuff like that. And that was obviously, we all know what happened there, didn't we? Yeah, yeah. So not now. They paused it, Mike. They paused it. But originally, they had to pay 20% on the fares for VAT. Do you know what I mean? And then they're on a temporary pause because of this court case. But whatever happens in this court case is what goes on forward. Do you know what I mean? So we don't actually know what's going to happen. Anyone watching, can you check the website to see if you can get it open? Because I can't get it live. Look, it's not opening for me. I don't know if they're not live or it's not working. Let me see if I can get on my PC. It's not started yet. Is that what it is, mate? Yeah. So can you only view it live once that specific case goes live? Is it? Like I said, I'm not into all this solicitor Supreme Court stuff. Yeah, it's not loading on my PC either. The website, mate, it's just the Supreme Court's website. Supreme Court. You'll find the case on there, and then you can watch it live as well. So that's what I'm going to do now. I just want to get your feedback and talk about it. Do you know what I mean? You have to remember when Uber take 40% off the fares, they only receive 20% because the other 20% is going to the HMRC for VAT. Yeah, Andy. Yeah, no, I get you. Do you know what I mean? I can see. The thing is, I'm not going to defend Uber at all. You're watching from Veezu in Liverpool, yeah, it's right. So I'm not going to defend Uber at all, but I'm quite a quality type of person. I like things being fair. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think Uber should charge VAT customer side if other private hire companies aren't. Do you know what I mean? I think no one should charge VAT passenger side. It should all be on what you're making as a company, which is the commission. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It should be fair across the board. I'm not defending with anyone. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, Mike. But the thing is, though, Delta should pay VAT on what they're getting from the drivers. So they'll be VAT registered 100% Delta. But the whole argument is they're paying VAT on their income as a company. Do you know what I mean? If you see 80% of the fares going to the drivers, it's nothing to do with the company. Do you know what I mean? But because the UK government made Uber pay VAT on the passenger side, then Uber's like, hold on a minute, why are we the only firm doing that? And then this is where the court case is. I mean, myself personally, I think it should get scrapped for everyone. Exactly, Mike, exactly. But at the moment, mate, VAT is getting charged on the passenger side. Do you know what I mean? That's what's causing the whole kerfuffle. That's it, Andy. It's only 20% on the 125 quid per week they receive in a driver settle instead of the 20% on all passenger income. So if they had to charge 20% on all the passenger income for the whole company, you're talking a lot of money, but it means the Delta customers are going to be paying 20% more in fares, which is going to outprice them competing to already a cheap Uber. Uber will still find a way to pay us less, maybe probably. Uber will probably win the case or whatever, and lose on the case so they don't have to pay VAT, right? And then they'll just keep the extra 20% anyway. So I think the commission will stay at 40%. Just Uber will keep the full 40 instead of the VAT, man. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to see if I can go live on TikTok as well. But TikTok's normally mental, so I won't be talking much on TikTok. Let's have a look. Morning, Claire. You all right? Yeah, what you call it? Yeah, 100%. Holiday pay doesn't help Uber, mate. That was just one of the rights they give us after the ACDC case. 20 past, guys. It's coming up. It's coming up. Um, do us a favour, guys. If you're checking the website yourself, let me know if it goes live on the website, please, so I can listen to it. Right. I'm just going live on TikTok as well. Oh, God. It's getting there, isn't it? Big news, guys. Big news. Right, I'm still not live. Is any of yours working yet, or is yours still off? Not live either. Sound. Thanks, Andy. Just let me know, mate, if it happens. Hi, Michael. You all right, mate? Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. We've got a few people watching now. All right, TikTok. So, hello, Chris. You all right, mate? Yeah, so Uber versus Delta versus Veezu kind of Supreme Court case where Uber wants every private hire company to pay VAT on the fare side. The appeal is today, is this morning, in about 20 minutes. So we're just all here now gathering to have a little discussion and talk about it. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Who do you want to win? Do you want Uber to win? Do you want Delta Veezu to win? It's going to be very interesting, guys. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Quarter 10 this morning, mate. It's on in 20 minutes. So, Michael, the link. Let me just see if I can share the link in the chat, lad. I don't normally do this live stuff. Let me just get the link for you. Where are we? Right. So it says live at the top. Let me know if it comes in the comments, guys, on YouTube. Did that come in? Can you see that? I'll pin it. Time for message. Do us a favour. Any airport transfers? Just check the DM airport transfers for pricing, please. I haven't got a clue off the top of my head. Links on drivermatty.com. So is the link working? Yeah. Right. So you just need to log into that link, and then the video should pop up with the result live, and then we can find out then what happens. So what are we all thinking? Are we thinking Uber? Or are we thinking Delta Veezu? Who do you want to win? Yeah, so the court case, TikTok, I'll just explain that quick. I've been explaining on YouTube. Sorry for the quality on TikTok. I'm using my spare phone because I need my main phone for the court case. So it's Uber versus Delta slash Veezu. And the court case is of them fighting over VAT. So Uber has to pay VAT, charge VAT on the passenger side, where every other private hire company only charges VAT on their commission they take from drivers. So if Uber wins the case today, every private hire company will have to charge VAT on the passenger fare. So that means every local private hire company, even your little small guys, will have to charge, if the VAT registered, will have to charge 20%, increase the fare by 20% for the VAT, man, which is obviously, you're just going to outprice yourself, aren't you? To be honest, mate, us personally, it probably doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? But if you want to support local, if you want to support your local companies, then you want Uber to lose, don't you? See, so John's put, I hope Uber wins. I guess, John, you just work for Uber and you're happy with Uber, the way it goes, you're not a big fan of local companies, then you'd support Uber. Do you know what I mean? But if you like your little close-knit private hire companies, then you've got to think about it like think of your little villages that's got 20 cars. Little taxi in a little village that has 20 cars, a little local private hire company, taking your nan to get a haircut and stuff like that. It's going to affect all those type of companies. Do you know what I mean? Too many baghead customers on the local firms. Let them walk. Lad, if they get too expensive, the local firms, where do you think the bagheads are going to do? They're going to find a phone and use Uber. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we've got a few Uber supporters in the chat, guys. Yeah, I want Uber to lose me. The results are starting at 10:15. Yeah, yeah, I want no, so if Delta loses, if Uber wins, Delta and every local company in the UK that's VAT registered will have to throw 20% on top of their fares, which will outprice them and make everyone, all the passengers, go back to Uber. Do you know what I mean? So it's technically, what are you supporting? Are you supporting a local UK company, or are you supporting Uber, the American app giant? That's who you want to support. The Uber American app giant, or your local private hire company who's been taking your nan to get a haircut for 20 years. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's about VAT, mate. Yeah, it's all about VAT. So after likes and follows, guys, appreciated. Much appreciated. Saturday got a cab to work, 13 quid. Uber verse, 18 quid Delta. 20% on Delta means 22 quid fare. Delta will be out of business right away. Andy, that's the whole argument, mate. Uber's already cheaper than local firms. Do you know what I mean? But don't forget, Andy, they're not charging VAT at the moment. Uber aren't charging VAT at the moment. They got like a temporary pause. Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking, right? If Uber loses today, right, and Delta and Alpha and all the local companies don't have to charge VAT passenger side, does that mean Uber doesn't have to either? Or does that mean Uber still has to pay VAT, charge VAT on the passenger side? Because that's flipping heavy if they do, you know what I mean? Claire, if Uber lose, will that benefit me as a hackney? No, I don't think so. I think Uber's always going to have the market anyway, win or lose. But it's more how it affects your local private hire companies. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, right. No, so Chris, so Uber pay VAT on their commission that they take from drivers, right? But what happens is they made Uber charge VAT on the whole fare, passenger side, right? And because of this court case, they've paused the passenger side VAT charging for now, and they only pay VAT on the commission, like your Delta, like your Alpha. So this will there you go, Andy. So Andy's my accountant, by the way. Uber will still have to be registered because they collect all the income. So is that the difference, Andy? So because Uber collects the full balance, yeah, and then pays the driver like a little wage out of it of whatever they want to pay. Because that's the full transfer of the money. That's why they have to charge VAT on the income. Because technically the passenger is paying Uber, isn't it? So that's Uber's income. Where if you're booking like a Delta passenger will book an Delta will send the driver, they will pay the driver in the car, yeah, and then Delta takes their cut from the driver at the end of the week, and they pay VAT on that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's very complicated, mate. It's very complicated. Do you know what I mean? Anyone's link working yet? Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. So if Uber win, do you know what I mean? My link P. What's that mean? No, but I mean, is your video loading? Is anyone's video loading yet? The case is not happening. The case is a 10:15, guys. I'm on the website. I'm just waiting for it to go live. No video yet. There's me going live, right? There's me going live to do a live reaction, and I can't even get the video to work. Do you know what I mean? El professional, me, mate. No video yet. Right, okay. Yeah. So we're gonna find out anyway. Should be very interesting. Morning, guys. Morning. Thanks for all the likes and follows, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry, I can't keep up on the old TikTok comments, guys. If you want to have a good chat, come over to YouTube. I can manage the comments a bit better on that. It's chaotic on TikTok, too many comments. But now it's going to be interesting. On their website, Ahmed, I can't stream it. I can't stream it on this because I'll get in trouble. Have you got a drum roll? Right? Oh, mate, my camera. I've been to Tim Horton because of you. Not impressed. How can you slag off Tim Horton, mate? Tim Horton's flipping legendary. I mate, I saw you in traffic lights in Liverpool. Tom, you all right, mate? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, was that the one? When was that? Yesterday or the other day? At Leeds Street, was it? Oh, you just turned the live stream on, Tommy. What I'll do, mate, I'll give another little update in 5 minutes. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep repeating myself. So stay tuned. Give us a little like and follow, guys. Subscribe or whatever you're watching me on. And I'll try. Oh, sorry, Chris. I missed it, mate. It's great to have you back live again, Mr. How's Twit and Twat. So Mark and Mick, well, let me give you a little update. We're going to do a little update video for Mick because he's changed career, hasn't he? But Mick is now a driving instructor and he's doing really well. And Mark's a grafter as usual. He's just grafting the airports. But Mick started driving instructing and he's really enjoying it. Doesn't talk as much as he used to. Busy guy now with the driving instructor and that. But every time he pops in and says hello sometimes. Do you know what I mean? No, this is UK wide, this, mate. UK wide. This is going to affect every company in the UK, mate, outside of London. Yeah, he's doing really well, Chris, honestly. Oh, God. Right there. Yeah, he's doing well, mate. He's doing well. I know you're going about private taxis, but black cabs are the worst. Half don't even have lights working. Ah, right. You know what the old Hackneys, mate, like the 1995 TX2s still driving around. Morning, guys. Yeah, mate. Black smoke and that. You know what though? I respect the acne trade. I really do respect. Like I'll say it now. I'll say it while I'm live. I do respect the acne trade. I think that's like the roots. That's how it started. Like the Ionic Black Cab. And like if I ever went to London, I don't go to London because I hate it. It's chocker. Too busy for me. And what's called it? But if I went to London, I'd use it acne. I just think it's just something about it. Do you know what I mean? It's just something about like the London taxi. Do you know what I mean? So you should, Matty, up the hacks. Oh, you right, Judson? How are we? Yeah, that went even me just being like, thing, yeah. Like I've even considered getting on. I'm dual badged, so I can get a Hackney if I wanted. Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking about going on a hacks at one point. The court case. So the court case, guys. The court case. I'll explain it a bit more now. There's a few people on TikTok and Instagram. So the court case is about the VAT, right? But if Uber wins this court case today, it's going to be bad news for every private hire company in the UK. And I mean like bad news because every private hire company that are VAT registered at the moment will have to charge 20% more on the fares outside of that. Do you know what I mean? So every private hire company is going to up the fare by 20% to pay the VAT on the passenger side, which is going to outprice them in the market even more, which means Uber will be even more busier. Adam, it could possibly make Uber drivers more work. I don't know, mate. It's more of a how it's going to affect the trade. You know, just the private hire industry itself. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just going to affect the whole trade, mate. In general, do you know what I mean? But like I said, with cross-border hiring incoming and the Wolverhamptons possibly getting kicked out, mate. Honestly, 6 months to 12 months in this trade, it's going to be mental. honestly. And if you want some awesome news, you know who you need to subscribe to and follow? Driver bloody Matty. I have a return only unlicensed tax room telling her. What's the Wolverhampton news? The Wolverhampton news is just rumours, mate. Nothing's confirmed yet. If every local firm has to pay VAT, more money for the government, so bound to make Uber win. Well, I'd rather be a hackney than get done over by Uber. I was quoted £20 from Uber, Liverpool to Ainsdale. Oh, you're in a hackney, Claire, aren't you? Do you own your own hackney plate? Or do you just rent? I see in a 2011 Hyundai i30. Oh, mate, the i30s are tiny, aren't they? The only likeable Scouser. Fun fact, mate, I'm actually from Knowsley, not even a Scouser. Hi, Sonny. You kind of new. So technically, I can't keep complaining. I've literally been on live for about half an hour and said the same thing. What I'll do is, just before the video goes, stay tuned. Just before the video goes live, I'll discuss again what's going to happen. Thanks for all the likes and follows and the subscribers, please. Much appreciated. Keep it going. Time for the likes and follow. Can you live like on YouTube? I've just seen some. You can look smiley faces and hearts. I thought that was just a TikTok thing. Go on, boys. Who's gonna do more likes? That's the question. TikTok or YouTube? Because we've got 10 minutes to kill. What car is the best for disability access? Probably Hackney's, mate, or like your Ford Tornadoes with a ramp. Go ahead. Oh, the great British like-off. So after likes and follows, guys, appreciated. Anyone got the live video up yet? You bought your own cabin plate? Bells, is right. Yeah, I'm half tempted to get one myself. Right, my video's still not live, peeps. What is the best car for Uber XL with a good budget? It depends, mate. Do you want a crap XL where you can't fit anyone in? Get a Ford Galaxy. If you want a proper XL, like a minibus, you're probably not best with Uber's prices. Yes, Chris. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the background, guys. Right, I'm gonna tell you all the background about the court case and everything else just before we hear it, because I keep repeating myself because new people joining in. I will tell you all just before it goes live. Okay. So, what the best councils apply to with Knowsley, Sefton, or Liverpool? So, Knowsley and Sefton normally quite slow because they're easier. Liverpool's you want, mate, but it's harder because it's still got a knowledge test in there. So have the likes and follows, guys. The Wolf taxis, we don't know yet, but the rumour is they'll be going. With Make Tax Digital coming in, it makes sense to go to Hackney rather than privates because HMRC won't have your income reported from another source. That's a good point, Andy. I'm off to the Hackneys. How much you in? 12 grand. Oh, God. So have the likes and follows, guys. Appreciated. Love you long time. Wolverhampton over to the dark side, mate. Love it. Hey, mate. Hey, where you going? You're going round the corner. One sec. Bally on. 50 quid, please. I'm only joking. 40k in cash and drive from Glasgow to Carlisle. Oh, mate, did you see that? Did you see that TikTok? That was hilarious, wasn't it? Hey, that taxi driver caught with 40 grand cash. I was going, oh, he must have been buying a car in England. He was, and then it was like it was covered up and hidden his footwell. I was like, okay, not so legal. Yeah, so with Wolverhampton, mate, it's rumoured, right? But I've heard so many stories now. Like, Delta, who were in this court case, Delta have started asking their drivers, the Wolverhampton drivers, to come over back to Sefton and change the car to Sefton plated. I know, no Liverpool Van Air. I've heard that they've stopped providing Wolverhampton cars now. They're only providing the local cars now as well. So it feels like a lot of bigger companies are making tweaks and changes to prepare for what's happening that possibly could be happening in the future that we don't know of yet. It's still early days. So after likes and follows, guys, appreciated. We are 6 minutes away. Right, does anyone know how the Supreme Court cases work? So this is just the judgments. So this is just telling us the result. Will it literally be, hi guys, this is the result, boom, and that's it? Or will it be like a half an hour, 45-minute discussion? Do you know what I mean? That's what I've heard. Hey, the thing is, Claire, you've got nothing to worry about because the hacks are limited anyway. So after likes and follows, are you our solicitors, mate? Mate, I can't even spell solicitors. No, I'm not a solicitor. Don't pretend to be. It's scheduled for 3 hours. Lad, I'm not sitting here for 3 hours. You joking, John? 3 hours, lad? I've been online for 40 minutes. I'm bored. I'm already bored. Lad, it best not be for 3 hours. I thought it was just like, right, guys, this is what's happening. It's after likes and follows, guys. Seriously, lad, are you telling me it's 3 hours? Let me read it. He's messing with me, isn't he? Lads, it best not be 3 hours, I'm telling you. No, it doesn't say anything for 3 hours. Are you lying to me? Get a good coffee and wait for the result. Oh, talk about coffee. I think I'm getting one delivered. Woohoo! Talk of the devil. You can't pay for this good service. I hope she's not watching. Already long waited list for badges, even in small towns, because of rumours with Wolverhampton. Yeah, so the rumours is making everyone run back to local. And that's what I've heard. And if you don't run back to local and prepare yourselves, you're going to be hit with a big, ugly nightmare if any rules come in. I've heard about private hire plates being restricted, like Glasgow. I've heard the cross-border hiring could be ending. I've heard the Merseyside plates. I've heard the Greater Manchester plates. Do you know what I mean? There's so many rumours going about. We just don't know what's what. But if something comes out, you regret that you never listened to Driver Matty back in June. So after likes and follows, that coffee best be decaf. What's the point in decaf coffee? What about robo taxi? I reckon it's a gimmick, mate. I reckon robo taxis will be. I will not be stressing about my taxi, about my job being replaced by robo taxi anytime soon. Anytime soon, mate. It's launched in America years ago, and it's still a gimmick. It's still a big gimmick. Why is my head so small on this? Why is it so small? Though? It's like I'm drowning in my video. Let's see if I can change it. Hello, hello. That better. As you can tell, guys, not very professional. I do apologise. YouTube quality is much better. It is, Oscar. This is so the YouTubers ran through my whole computer and the dash cam and everything else. User just on like a crappy phone, unfortunately. TikTok gets a crappy phone. The YouTube gets the beautiful dash cam in there. What's the result of the case? We will find out hopefully in 3 minutes and not 3 hours and 3 minutes, like John said. Do you reckon there's going to be a lot of waffling? Oh, 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes. Sit down, get your coffees or your Voss water or whatever you're up to. Here we go. Is the video loading? I'm getting like a loading screen now. How the Wolverhampton plates work. Seen loads of my area. They haven't got a clue where to go. So what you do, mate, is when you buy a box of Frosties, there's a good 10% chance you'll get a badge. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. But they are quick and easy. Where is this held at? The court case, the Supreme Court. I've got a clue where it is, but it sounds important. The Supreme Court. It's not a normal court. It's a Supreme one. Is the Supreme one like a really good one? Yeah. Hello, Tam. How are we? The Supreme Court. It sounds serious, doesn't it? Right. The video's still not working. Anyone's video working before I'm getting FOMO here? Is anyone's video working? Please let me know. Rice Krispies, you get a badge and a tenner. Supreme Court is in Parliament Square, London. Fancy. Still not on here now. Sad. Keep refreshing, guys. I think we've got a minute before it's on. So is this the Supreme Court where they wear all the wigs? They're all fancy wigs in there. Supreme Court in Birmingham. Oh, is there more than one Supreme Court? Oh, man, clueless, me. It is going live, guys. Hopefully in 1 minute. There's no higher than Supreme Court. The hell is it? Yes, it's the highest of the high, yeah. I mean, these have definitely got the wigs on, haven't they? Right. Right. It is 9:45 now. Still not on. It's been announced. John, honestly, you're doing my head, didn't you? You said 3 hours and now you're saying it's been announced. I don't believe you. John, you're doing my head in, lad. Are you winding me up? It's on, refresh. They've got wigs on. Tiger, I'm going to flip him climbing the screen and punch your head in. Don't be winding me up. It's a traumatic day. No, John, I don't believe you. Go away. It's on. Oh, mate, no one's even in there. It's going to be forever. It's on, guys. The results are in. Give us a little like and follow. Yeah, they're coming out now. Can you hear it? They're not a big fan of it. Loud volume.
These two appeals concern important questions about the operation of the sanctions regime put in place by the United Kingdom government to put pressure on the Russian Federation to end its aggressive war against Ukraine. The judgment also addresses important questions regarding the proportionality
She looks like Helen Mirren.
of any interference with a sanctioned person's rights.
Can you hear that?
Human Rights Convention. The two appellants have been made subject to sanctions imposed on them under powers conferred on ministers by the Russia Sanctions EU Exit Regulations 2019, as amended in 2022. There are other sets of sanctions regulations.
Why are we in Russia?
In the Sanctions and Money Laundering Act.
Guys, I'm clueless. No, we're definitely on the Delta, look.
Various different countries. Mr.
And John, if you're taking the mick about this 3 hours, lad.
Secretary on 24th of March 2022.
It's very posh, isn't she?
After Russia invaded Ukraine. The effect of being designated is that all his assets worldwide are frozen, and it is a criminal offence for anyone to deal with him in either a private or commercial capacity, subject to a few exceptions. The other appellant, Alston Projects Limited, owns a luxury yacht called the Phi. The Secretary of State for Transport took a decision on 28th March 2020.
Why are they talking about Russia?
To detain the yacht.
Does anyone know?
Prevent it from being moved. The effect of this is that the Phi has been moored in London since then. Mr. Nomenko is the ultimate owner of the yacht.
John, it's on the right page, lad.
That he has been prevented from earning substantial income from chartering the yacht out during the spring and summer Mediterranean sailing seasons. Mr. Schwidler.
This is going to take an hour. It best not do, Dan.
The ministerial decisions imposing.
Surely they've linked to the wrong room.
They claim that
Oh, John, you're taking the lad. John, I'll send you my address. Come here, lad. I'll just give you a slap. You winded me up. 12 cases.
And disproportionately affect their rights to their property, contrary to Article 1 of the first protocol to the convention.
John's on a wind up, isn't he?
That there has been an interference.
Is he right, really? Yeah, we've got to go through 12 cases. It's the first case sitting on the day. Uber have won. It's already been announced. How's it been won? It's already been announced. It's live, mate.
Or whether the sanctions are disproportionate and therefore unlawful. The appellant's challenges in these proceedings were dismissed at first instance in two judgments.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm getting flipping calls.
Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, by a majority, dismisses the appeal of Mr. Schwidler and unanimously dismisses the appeal of Dalston Projects. Lord Sales and I give the leading judgment, with Lord Reid and Lord Richards agreeing. Lord Leggett gives a judgment dissenting in relation to Mr. Schwidler's.
At the moment, we're talking about Russians and that. I'm pretty sure it'll get on. John, there's no different rooms, lad. Leave me alone.
At different levels should carry out the task of reviewing a decision taken by a minister or by some other branch of the executive when that decision is challenged on grounds that it is disproportionate. The principles set out in the judgment are as follows. When a first instance court, such as the High Court of England and Wales, is deciding a challenge like this, the court's function is not merely a secondary reviewing function to decide whether the primary decision maker, such as a minister or an official in
Morning, guys. We're in court.
Well, I'm not. Himself or herself, or acted irrationally, or made some mistake.
Russia at the moment. They're talking about Russia and Wolverhampton overtaking Russia.
Must decide for itself whether there has actually been a violation of human rights convention. However, when a court is taking its own decision on proportionality...
Right, I'll pause it there quick, guys, right? I'll pause it there quick, right? Because it's about Russia. So what's happening is there's a court case between Uber and Delta, right? And if Uber win, every private hire company in the UK outside of London will have to charge VAT on the passengers' fares. So that means every company outside of London would have to put their fares up by 20%. Which will outprice them compared to Uber. So Uber will have a massive demand again, even more in the market.
It will often be appropriate to accord some respect to the views of the government. How much respect will depend on the importance of the right involved, the degree to which the right is interfered with.
So after likes and follows, guys. No one's won yet.
And the
just talking about Russia and Ukraine and that.
As to how best to respond to Russia's actions in Ukraine. So when a first instance court has taken its own decision on proportionality and a party appeals that...
Has it been in the Griffin court case? 1 sec. So didn't he stream live that one? Or is that one still ready to be thingied? Yeah, courtroom 1. Secretary of State Foreign Commonwealth. Yeah, so they're talking about multiple things.
Giving guidance,
so I'm not in the wrong room, am I?
In cases in the future.
Stop winding me up, lads. Am I in the wrong room?
The appellate court should not treat its role as so limited, but instead should
no, I don't want Uber to win.
Its own fresh assessment of the proportionality of the measure in question. This approach,
lad, I can't change the courtrooms.
The appeal court's decision is one which will provide guidance for other later cases because there is a general principle arising, or whether subject matter has major social or political significance.
I'm going to knock you out if I'm in the wrong room and I'm listening to roughly in Russia.
People rightly expect the more senior judges in the appellate court to exercise their own judgment as to whether the measure in question is proportionate and lawful. The court considers that Mr. Schwidler and Dalston Projects cases are ones where the Supreme Court should consider afresh whether the sanctions imposed on Mr. Schwidler and on Mr. Nomenko's yacht are proportionate.
3 hours, lad. I'm not sitting here for 3 hours. Right, listen. You're all winding me up here. Am I in the wrong room? Let me know, please. Are you got the same Russia crap or what?
So this court was
Stop telling me it's the wrong room. I'm telling you.
regarding the impact
I'll
of
go home.
Mr.
I'm home,
Schindler
like, but
on
I'll
his
tell.
family and on Dalston Yachts and Mr. Numenko.
Is it the right room?
Proportionality of the sanctions imposed upon them.
Thank you. Courtroom 2. There's no other courtrooms.
Assessment afresh. The judgment goes through the different stages of a test that has been set out in many.
Can someone help? Is it definitely the right room? Do you just got to go through a list of things?
With someone's rights is proportionate or not.
Because you're winding me up.
The first stage of that test is whether the measures have a legitimate aim. There can be no doubt that the 2019 sanctions regulations do pursue a legitimate aim in attempting to limit and deter Russian aggression in Ukraine.
It's the correct room.
Invasion represents an egregious
Everyone's
violation
winding me
of
up.
international law and the UN Charter, constituting one of the most serious threats to Europe.
People are having you on. It's a live docket. Our turn will come eventually. So we just got to sit through this crap, and eventually the Uber stuff will come in.
Second stage, the measures against Mr. Schindler and for the detention of the yacht, are rationally connected to this aim. There is a difficulty here because it's very hard for the government and for the court to understand.
John, if it's 3 hours, mate, I'm going to be fuming. I can't sit here for 3 hours. I kind of regret doing this live stream thing. Hello, guys.
Or indeed any of the measures put in place by the UK and its international partners.
Snake, do us a favour, mate. Can you find the itinerary? And room 6, stop telling me different rooms.
There is, however, no need to show that particular sanctions imposed
Uber VAT battle with local companies, mate.
themselves achieve the legitimate aim. It is important to have regard to the
Oh, she's killing me. Such a monotone voice.
All that is needed is for the Secretary of State to show some plausible contribution made to that effect by the measure in question. The rational connection in relation to the detention of the yacht.
Wrong room.
Mr. Numenko claims he could
It's
earn
not.
considerable income by chartering out the fly to other wealthy individuals.
John, I'm going to kill you, lad. Right room, wrong day. It will be streaming the live results tomorrow morning. It literally says Delta court case judgment date the 29th of July. John, you're not my friend. Hi, Matty. My acceptance rate has gone down to 5%. Should I worry? Mate, you probably got one of the highest acceptance rates Uber's got. There you go. Thanks, Andy. Speaking facts. So it's the third case, guys. So we've got to get rid of Russia. What's after Russia? Is there something entertaining? 20. John, I promise you, mate. Driving me up the wall, son. So what's after Russia? Is there something good? She can't even speak. Dalston Project. Oh, what's Dalston Projects? Oh, yeah, John. The orders and versus Gov. Dalston versus Gov. And then Delta versus. What's Dalston? Not a clue.
Mr. Numenko is impeded in the use of a luxury asset.
Stop it, Michael. I know, John, I know you are. This is the Dalston Projects. Right, okay, so we'll be coming up soon, won't we? Andy, are you... I don't know if I should mute it. Or should I just wait till just leave it? No, it's the third one. It's the third one. So after the Russians, we got Dalston, and then we got Uber. So we'll sit here and we'll wait. The other one is human rights, looking at the website. Right, okay. So we got Russia, we got human rights, then we got Uber. We've got it. We've got this. 3 hours? Why is people bringing up 3 hours? I'm not sitting here for 3 hours. Do you reckon we're waiting a while?
This appeal is about the statutory regime for the regulation of the provision of private hire vehicles outside London and Plymouth. PHVs. They differ from taxi cabs because they do not ply for hire. They have to be booked through an operator. The appeal turns on the meaning of the relevant legislation to be found in Part 2 of the Local Government Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1976, as amended, concerning operators of PHVs. An operator is defined as someone who, in the course of business, makes provision for the invitation or acceptance of bookings for a PHV. In the 1970s, this was almost entirely done by telephone, but now online methods of booking occupy an ever-increasing part of the market. An operator, as defined, need not be either the driver or the owner of the PHV. Its regulated activity is just inviting and accepting bookings. The regime laid down by the 1976 Act is essentially a triple lock licensing scheme run by local authorities, whereby each of the operators and drivers of the PHV have to be licensed, as well as the PHV itself.
Yeah, you're applying flying.
Licenses can impose conditions, and breach of them or breach of the regulations in the 1976 Act itself can be dealt with by the revocation or suspension of licenses. Prior to 1976, bookings for PHVs were accepted by operators under various models. They included the hire contract model, where the operator entered into an immediate contract with the customer to hire the PHV for the requested journey; the agency model, where the operator did the same but only as agent for the driver, incurring no legal liability itself; and the intermediary model, where the operator merely undertook to use its best endeavours to arrange for a PHV to attend at the requested time and place, leaving the customer and the driver to make the contract of hire for the journey. The question on this appeal is whether the 1976 Act makes it unlawful for an operator to accept a booking other than by using the hire contract model, so that the operator undertakes an immediate contractual liability as principal to provide the PHV by way of hire for the requested journey. Uber Britannia Limited, part of the well-known Uber Group, say that it does. They brought proceedings against one of their relevant local licensing authorities, Sefton Metropolitan Borough Council, for a declaration to that effect. The council wished to remain neutral, but two rival PHV operators, Delta Merseyside and Veezu Holdings Limited, were joined as interveners to argue the case that the 1976 Act imposed no such restriction. Both Delta and Veezu use, at least in part, the agency and intermediary models, and unlike Uber, wish to continue to do so.
Yeah. See?
Uber succeeded at first instance before Mrs. Justice Foster, but her decision was reversed by the Court of Appeal, Lord Justices Lewison and Lewis and Lady Justice Elizabeth Lang. Uber appealed to this court, seeking to restore the declaration they obtained from Mrs. Justice Foster. This court unanimously dismisses Uber's appeal. I give the judgment with which Lord Reed, Lord Leggett and Lord Stevens and Lady Simler all agree. Our reasons are, in summary, as follows.
Whoa!
There is nothing in the 1976 Act which in express terms imposes the restriction for which Uber contend. Indeed, apart from some bookkeeping obligations and the requirement to hold an operator's license, the Act imposes no express obligations or restrictions upon operators at all. The reference in the Act to, quotes, accepting a booking, quotes off, does not mean only by contracting as principal to perform the hire. But Uber contends that the suggested restriction, i.e. only to use the hire contract model when accepting bookings, is inherent or implied in the very concept of accepting a booking, when read in the context of Part 2 of the 1976 Act as a whole. And they say that this provides much better protection for customers than a scheme which leaves operators free also to use the agency or intermediary models. This court disagrees. Part 2 of the 1976 Act achieves its regulatory purpose by licensing, not by the imposition of a detailed scheme of rules. The only provision in Part 2 which deals expressly with accepting bookings is Section 56(1), which provides that, whenever it is made, a contract for the hire of a PHV is deemed to be made with the operator who accepted the booking of the PHV, whether or not it itself provides the vehicle. This plainly means that whenever a contract of hire of a PHV is actually made, then the operator who accepted the booking is liable as if it were a principal under the contract of hire. Thus, it would make the operator using the agency model liable as if it were the principal, and the operator using the intermediary model liable likewise as principal under any contract of hire later made between the driver and the customer. But if the acceptance of the booking using the intermediary model led to no hire contract, for example because the customer changed her mind or the driver failed to attend, there would be no contract of hire on which Section 56(1) could bite. In sharp contrast, if the 1976 Act really did limit operators to using only the hire contract model when accepting bookings, then Section 56(1) would be completely redundant. Uber say it was just inserted for the avoidance of doubt, but that is not how it works on the pattern of booking models in widespread use at the time when the Act was passed. For those reasons which do not differ in substance from those of the Court of Appeal, this appeal is dismissed, and the court is now adjourned.
Wow. Holy moly. Flipping dismissed, man. Uber lost, guys. Uber lost. The private hire companies win. Now, the big question is, 3 hours, John. Eat a big bagger. So, they lost. So, what it means now is that the private hire companies can stay as an intermediate, which is brilliant. Do you know what I mean? The big question is, how's Uber going to proceed? Do they still have to pay VAT on the passenger side? Oh, Andy, that fundraiser made me laugh, Delta tried to raise like 250 grand to fight the court case, and they raised like 100 quid or something. So going forward, private hire companies only pay VAT on their commission, but Uber is now separated from private hire companies, so they charge VAT on the passenger still because they take the full fare. Is that what it is? Yeah. Andy, help me out, lads. Andy's the accountant. Andy, is that true now? So does Uber still have to pay VAT on the passengers, or does no one have to pay? Because what they mentioned the two different models, didn't they? They mentioned the intermediate model, and then he mentioned the contract model, which Uber's on. Do you know what I mean? Do you get me? That's mental, innit? So Uber's technically on their own, aren't they? Yeah, Andy, so do you think Uber will continue paying VAT now on the passenger? Wow. Yeah, right. So what happened, guys, right? So, yeah. So what happened? So it got dismissed. Uber lost. So what happened was, right, is the contract between the passenger and the driver passes through Uber, where when you're a local company, it doesn't pass through the operator, kind of. The operator's just an intermediate. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So Uber, Bolt, that type of company, they're in a separate business model, aren't they? Yeah, it's because we're technically treated as workers, so it's not a self-employment. So like Delta and stuff like that, they're just an intermediate. You book with a Delta, so there's the job. Delta is here, and Delta goes, there's your job, there's your driver. At the end of the week, Delta takes money off the driver for the service. Do you know what I mean? Where with Uber, there's the job. Uber gets the job, sucks it dry, gives it to the driver. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I reckon that's what it is. Do you know it? Wow, that is mental. That is mental. And it'll never go down, Craig. They'll never put the fares down. They'll just take whatever they can. So what happened was Uber was charging the VAT on the customers last year, and then the Supreme Court case paused their VAT on passengers because the court case was still rolling. Yeah, Snakes just had a good point. Snakes, but the Uber VAT case is completely separate. This was purely Uber trying to make all the other firms pay VAT on the fares, which would have outpriced themselves, and Uber would have won. So Uber's plan all this time to probably get this business model launched, so then they can force everyone else to follow, to then take over the world. Now they kind of screw themselves because now they've got to charge VAT on the passenger side. So it means their fares have got to be a lot more and they've got to take a lot less. While all the other private hire companies are living the best life, just taking. The only thing you've got to be careful of, though, is how you proceed with taking bookings. So if you're a private hire company and you're taking full payments up front on every job via an app or some type of online software, and then you're paying a driver the change, then you'd fall into the Uber model, not a private hire model. So then you could maybe have to fall in with the same problem, isn't it? Yeah, Andy. Uber had to lose, otherwise the courts would have created a monopoly with the taxi business. Do you know what I mean? That's the only big thing is, Oscar. Yeah, the Uber model, right, where he pays VAT on the full fare. Yeah, a lot of companies now, private hire local companies, have got a similar model. They're app-based. They're taking full payment up front. Then they're paying the driver change. So there's got to be a balance between the two. Do you know what I mean? As an example, Delta, they charge a fixed settle commission at the end of each week for using their services. They're not taking money and paying money out. Uber are appealing if they have to pay VAT in a separate case against HMRC. Yeah, of course they will, because obviously Uber's going to be paying VAT on every fare. That is mental. Veezu, mate, is one of the largest private hire companies in the UK now. To have the likes and follows, guys, appreciated. I can't believe they won that. That was a huge win. No, Lee, Uber lost, mate. Mental. No, so Uber does pay VAT. People aren't getting it. Uber does pay VAT on their commissions, but with their business model, they have to pay VAT on the passengers' fare, not just what they make off the drivers. A huge win for who? Capitalism or the driver? Mate, just a local company. Just a local company. So it's great for a local company, like your Delta, like your Alpha, like your One Call. Do you know what I mean? Streetcars, etc., all them has benefited from this court case massively. Right, Andy, me accountant, guys. Uber pay VAT on all income. Delta and private hire companies only pay VAT on the driver's settle they receive. That's the biggest one. The problem is, Stephen, you just hit the nail on the head, mate. So they'll squeeze the drivers more to remain competitive. So for Uber to stay competitively priced, they're going to have to take 20%. So just say they book a fare. Just say you book a fare with Uber, a tenner. £2 goes to the VAT man straight away. So then there's £8 left. Uber's got to then take money from that as well. What's left for the driver? Do you know what I mean? But if the fares go up, they're going to outprice themselves. It is a big, massive cluster fudge. If Uber plays fair, Uber will go to nothing. Veezu is the biggest threat. I reckon Veezu and iCabby Exchange is the biggest threat to Uber in the UK by a country mile, mate. Country mile. 100%. If Veezu and the iCabby Exchange, well, it's one company actually, because I think Veezu use iCabby. It's a huge thing. Veezu aren't small. Veezu are massive, mate. Veezu are massive. Cardiff company built up and just buying everyone. There's Veezu in Manchester, Veezu in Liverpool, Veezu in Sheffield, Veezu in Brighton, Veezu down south, Veezu in Cardiff. Veezu are everywhere, mate. Massive they are, mate. The result is Uber lost, mate. So, Snake, regarding commission, what Uber's going to take, nothing's going to change. There's no percentages. So, Uber will take money off the customer. They have to throw 20% to one side for the VAT man, and then the rest of the money they'll try and keep as much as they can, and then give the driver whatever's left. Do you know what I mean? There's no fixed. It hasn't been any fixed commission for years. Yeah, Veezu's in the Midlands as well, guys. Is this good news for US us taxi-based drivers? 100%, 100%. Because if Uber won the case, you taxi-based companies would have to put 20% on the fares. Veezu had just taken over small companies, they're not, mate. Veezu, they took Britannia over in Liverpool, which is the second or third biggest company in Liverpool. They took out two of the biggest companies in Manchester, combined into now like one of the biggest. They bought the biggest company in Norfolk. Yeah, Veezu are always cheaper for users than Uber in Sheffield. There you go. There you go. Veezu probably don't have much work though. Where are you getting those facts from, Tiger? It's already been working like that, Matty, to be fair. Yeah, Lee, it has. Uber's been doing that model for like a year and a half, 2 years. Do you know what I mean? They'll charge the customer as much as they can do using a complex algorithm. They'll take that money in and they'll go, VAT man, we'll keep that, driver have that. Do you know what I mean? They're going to obviously, with a company like Uber, they're going to maximize the profit as much as they can. Do you know what I mean? So if they can get away with paying that driver £4, and they know that driver will accept that £4 job, then £4, that's what £4's doing, isn't it? It means Uber are stuck with it unless they want a driver to collect the payment and then Uber take their cut, but it would have to be fixed. Yeah, Adam, so if Uber wanted to go like the private hire companies, Uber would need like a fixed kind of commission settle and then just let the drivers take all the passenger fare. Do you know what I mean? It's because Uber's taking the payments in full. It's because Uber's taking the payments in full and then paying the driver out of the change. Is what made Uber's model go the way it is. That's it, Snake. Just do whatever's best for you, mate. We're self-employed, aren't we? So what's the Veezu model? What? The Veezu model? Oh, Veezu model. It's literally they're just buying loads of companies up, mate. So what they're doing, instead of they're trying to get into new areas or try and get themselves established in new areas, what they're doing is they're buying already established businesses. So they're just going from city to city and going, that's a good business, we'll have that. That's a good business, we'll have that. So they've already got an established business with an office, with reoccurring customers, etc. They're not trying to launch in new areas. They're just buying already established ones, which is really working. Uber just lost the court, mate. Uber just lost the court case. Yeah, they just lost the court case, mate. Yeah, so technically Uber can just take as much as they can from the fare and give the driver whatever they want. That's what it's been like for years since the AC/DC case. Is Veezu fixed price? No, Veezu is just a private hire company. The drivers will take the blunt of this. Unfortunately, we don't know how it's going to happen, but the Uber drivers might be getting paid even less, yeah. The downside, though, because you get people from Wolverhampton coming to Liverpool with Veezu and taking jobs from local lads. Well, Veezu, very, very rare, lad. Uber's Wolverhampton. Uber's the one where it takes the local work. Yeah, but fixed price with Uber, whereas Uber isn't. Uber's not fixed price, mate. Uber's like a guesstimate upfront price that changes depending if the journey changes. There's no difference. Squeezing the driver more than they are only make private hire companies more attractive. Unfortunately, the private hire companies will see this and as an opportunity to exploit in some cases. Possibly, mate. Possibly. But the thing with the local companies, they've always been transparent. You know exactly where you stand with them. You know exactly how much you're paying each week and settle. You know exactly how much it's charging per mile. Do you know what I mean? You know a premise. It's all in front. You know how much you're paying each week, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? The amount of people that send me their commission after 1 week on Uber, 1 week it could be 10%, 1 week it could be 35%, 40%. Do you know what I mean? No, just Matty chatting bubbles, mate. But with that attitude, lad, you're not going to find out any more information, are you? Veezu too much junkies. Oh, do you mean like smackheads, isn't it? Mate, eventually the smackheads will get a phone. the smackheads will figure out Uber, mate. Uber lost, mate. Uber lost. It's not easy to get a taxi badge no more, mate. They've cut right back on it since what might be happening in the future. Best just go local. I'm on the hack. No, I'm on the Hackneys, mate. No. Yeah, that's as long as the smackheads pay, mate. I've had some of the best jobs off smackheads, mate. Hey, they're normally quite honest, quite legit smackheads to a certain degree. Do you know what I mean? As long as you've had the fix before they get in the taxi, the sound mellow as. Yeah, late to the party, Jack. Uber lost the court case for the VAT battle with local private hire companies, mate. No worries, mate. I do try my best. I do try my best. Do us a favour, guys. Give us a little like and follow. Subscribe to YouTube and all that. Check out drivermatty.com or in TikToks. River Yatium. It's back to front on TikTok for some reason. So after likes and follows, guys, appreciate it. It does help me out massively. Completely free for you to do, yet it helps me out massively. So just a little like, just a little follow. That's all I ask. Crackheads from Bootle tip good. Mate, of course they do. You pick them up, you go to the job centre, get the little dole and that, and you throw you a fair whack, don't they? So after likes and follows, guys, appreciate it. Yeah, so I don't know what Bolt. Bolt has not been mentioned at all in this court case. So if any Bolt drivers work here or currently watching, do you know if Bolt is VAT and all that off the fare as well? I've just had this off a Delta driver. I'm not surprised. Delta obviously knew beforehand. He published a message this morning. Yeah, the message he published this morning, though, Andy, was just his confidence in it. Ola. Remember Ola, mate? God, I remember Ola. That was so funny. I know, thanks, mate. I do try and reply to all the comments as best as I can, but sometimes they're flying. I'm on YouTube and on TikTok, you see live, so it's hard to keep clock. Do you know what I mean? Ola was funny, man. I don't even think Ola's in the UK no more, is it? Take him to the job centre, take him to the ATM, take him to see a friend, and then to the shop. 100%, mate. A nice little tip after it. Oh, mate. Hey, mate, the smackheads and the tamps and all them, and all the drug runs, that's what keep the local companies flipping ticking over, mate. Is Veezu fixed price? Haven't I just mentioned this, lad? Is Veezu fixed price, whereas Uber isn't? No, mate, Uber's not fixed price. It's just private hire. It's just on a rate, mileage rate. John, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kick you and block you forever. So I'll never see that name ever again imprinted in my mind. I don't get what's going on. Yeah, Uber lost the court case, mate. And Driver Matty's live and is asking for subscribes and likes. I know, so is Uber fixed price. Mate, is this a flipping parrot in the room? No, Veezu is not fixed price. Veezu runs off a meter. Veezu, not Uber. Lads, I can't be asked you no more. I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. I just give up with you. Sorry, mate. Google it. Google it, mate. I can't deal with you. It's been a long day. The office is quite warm. I've been in here for an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm dealing with that, lad. I'm sorry. Love you to bits, but I can't help you. I feel Chinese. He needs sleep, God. With Lyft buying free now, could they come in and take Uber's market cap? Mate, Lyft. The thing with Lyft is Lyft has the same business model. So Lyft's going to come to the UK and have to follow the same model as Uber. So they'll need VAT or passenger side, etc., etc. I'm new to Uber and it's crap. Is there any other app I can use? No, mate. Get a proper job, unfortunately, if you're not happy with it. Lost. Uber lost. Locals won. Power to the local people, baby. I was banned from driving for Uber 5 years ago. I emailed asking for details of my ban. What about Waymo coming? It's going to be years off, mate. Years and years off of Waymo, innit? Driverless cars and all that. Lyft guarantees driver keeps 7% of fares. I hope that happens if they launch here too. Possibly, mate. But what, I guarantee 70%. You're happy with that? 30% is a big commission. I use Veezu a lot, and on the app it states it's fixed fare. Not that I know of, mate. Unless different Veezus have different policies. No. Well, driverless will work in the UK, but you're talking 20 years, mate, before it's mainstream. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be in London for the first 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Driverless cars come to Liverpool, mate. It will not last. I can more or less guarantee you. Major, I'm not commenting, lad. I'm Major. Leave me alone. I'm not commenting, lad. Myself personally, mate, I'd say local. Yeah. I've said local for years, mate. With local companies, you know exactly where you stand. You know exactly how much you're paying. You know exactly where you are. Do you know what I mean? With Uber, it's just like you could get a job and it's £8 for 8 mile. Or you get another job and it's £20 for 8 mile. And all over the show. So it's hard to plan, it's hard to judge. Do you know what I mean? But these days, it's all the latter. It's all the flipping £8 for 8 mile, innit? Local's got no work as much as Uber, though. It depends, Tiger, what local company and where you are. And do you know what I mean? They just work differently. Normally, what I've found is local companies have less work, but you get paid more per mile. So your expenses is relevant. When a lot of Uber drivers are bouncing around doing £1,000 a week and think it's great, but their expenses are 5 ton because they're not looking at the expenses. Do you know what I mean? Where you could do £800 on local, but with a cap commission and lower mileage, mate, you might be only paying out £300 in expenses. So you're banking more money. But people don't look at expenses and income. They just look at income in profit. They just look at income. Yeah, but I've already mentioned to you, mate, Veezu is not fixed price. They'll give you the price on the app like Uber, but it's all on a mileage rate. That's what I said to you. I answered you about 45,000 times, mate. Hey, Veezu is on the meter. iCabby. Honestly, I'm going to jump on window in a minute. Court case, it's already over, mate. It's already done and dusted. Uber lost. Yeah, I pay £300 a week for a car and all the work. Happy to. Yeah, but £300 for your car, and then you got your valets and you got your badge, your plate, etc., etc. If it's obviously not settled, then you got your fuel. Do you know what I mean? It's not just your car, is it? Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. Yeah, but yeah, Veezu's on a meter. It's on an iCabby system, mate. So you got zones and a meter. Oh, mate, I've said this from day one, Lee, about expenses, and people just don't even. Oh, I paid £200 for a car. Okay, so their expenses in their head is £200. So they'll work £600 a week and go, look at me, I'm making £400. You're not. You got a hell of a lot more than flipping £200 expenses. Speaking of 8 Mile, do a little rap for us while you're on. No, John? No. Yeah, how do Uber drivers make it over day? £12 to Castle Street. Because they'll get a bar flipping £7 for it. The new iCabby thing at the exchange sounds interesting. Mate, the exchange sounds fantastic. Like, it sounds like the iCabby exchange is going to be the thing that combines all local to fight Uber. Do you know what I mean? I think the exchange is going to be brilliant. Give us a little like and follow, guys. You know the score. Check, subscribe, and all that crap. In Liverpool at the moment, average hire of a vehicle, including insurance, is roughly £235 a week. That's what I mean. So just shy of £1,000 a month just for your car. Your fuel, if it's a hybrid, is what, 70, 80 quid a week. So it's 320 quid. Do you want to get it washed a little bit here and there? Do you know what I mean? Just goes up and up and up and up and up. This, honest to God, the amount of expenses is unreal. That's how people. I don't get how people do it part time, because they say to me, "Oh, I own my car, 20 grand car, I own it, so it doesn't cost me anything." But it flipping does, doesn't it? As soon as you stick a plate on it, you lose 40% in value and depreciation. Do you know what I mean? So you're driving around every day in your lovely 20 grand car that you own, it doesn't cost you a penny. It's absolutely plummeting in flipping. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, yeah, this is a good one, Snake. My expenses all in a week. Tesla Model 3 is 300 quid a week. Makes sense. Or 450 with local rent. Right, so you're saying it's 150 for your local rent, right? So it's 450. But what happens if you add your Uber's commission to your £300 a week? I can more or less guarantee it's more than 150 quid of local. But people don't see the commission from Uber because it's not shown up front. Do you know what I mean? So that's where people are like, oh, yeah, don't pay no commission for Uber. It's because you don't see it. But you're paying 400-500 quid a week in commission to Uber. So if you work local and the commission was 130 quid a week, look how much money you're saving just off commission. At the moment, Uber is paying me more. You can view it in your weekly statements. Oh, mate, 100%, Snake. But like I said, it depends on. It's too many people message me on how much can I make if I work at Uber. It's like it's a million things that can. Depends what vehicle, depends where you're working. Do you know what I mean? What hours you're working, what happens in your city. Is it a heavy student city? Is it a, do you know what I mean, a heavy party city? Is it a business area? Do you know what I mean? So many variables. To have the likes and follows, guys. Is Veezu any good? I'm not too sure, mate. It's just a local base. If you want to support local, then go Veezu, innit? Nowadays, what actually makes more money, Uber or local? That is the big question, Liam. I can guarantee you, depending on your area, I can guarantee you Uber is busier. Uber is busier, but I think you profit more with a local company. I think with a local company, there's less jobs, but the mileage rate, you get higher per mile. So every mile you drive, you get paid a lot more. And obviously less wear and tear, less miles, less juice because of you doing less miles. Like you could do 300 quid on Uber, start and finish your shift, and you probably done 350 mile. Do you know what I mean? It literally costs you every mile you drive, it costs you money. So if you might do 300 quid on the local company, but you might only do 180 mile, 200 mile. So that 100 mile per shift adds up over the month, saves you the fortune and fuel and depreciation and everything. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, that's true, John. Local companies won't have a system that limits you to £20 an hour. I more or less say that is so true. That Uber has a balancing algorithm. Have you noticed that, guys? If you get dead lucky with Uber and you're on a little flurry and you're on 30 quid in the first hour, you'll be on 10 quid in the next hour, even if it's morning rush, to bring you back down to that £20 an hour goal. I've noticed that, mate, massively. And a lot of people have told me about that. 100%. Yeah, John, 100%, mate. I've seen the balance myself personally. Red Raw, big event, and next minute I've got no jobs free for 45 minutes until me average comes back down. It's good in a way, John, because they're trying to balance the case out. They're trying to balance the money, so all drivers get as much as they can. But private hire companies, mate, you do 40, 50 quid an hour if it's stupidly busy or you get a lucky back-to-back job. Who won the case? Delta and Veezu, mate. Uber lost. Unbelievable that they lost. Last month I've been doing it like that, struggle to go over that. Maybe it's different by area. Yeah, honestly. Uber 100% cap your hourly rates. My confirmation rate is about 5% due to cherry picking, so I'll push my hourly rates up. Yeah, honestly, guys. Yeah, so Uber lost the case. So VAT, no, VAT on Uber stays, but it's not going to go on private hire companies. I can't say I'm good to Uber lost, to be fair. Mate, I'm happy. I'd rather support local, mate. If, honest God, if Uber won that case, Uber would have outpriced every single local company in the UK and probably squashed them. Squashed them, mate. Uber got work everywhere you go. Thing of local. Got to keep coming back. Yeah. But it depends on your work. That's how, if you're working in Liverpool, say, and you're going from town to Kirby to Bootle to Speak, you get all that with the local companies, especially big ones like Alpha and Delta. Do you know what I mean? So I have to like some follows, guys. But a lot of the time, if you get a job from Liverpool to Manchester, do you stay in Manchester? I used to drive straight back. Can't stand Manchester. Do you know what I mean? So no, you got the availability to drive back, to stay where you land. But like a lot of people don't like working where they land because you don't know the local laws. You know, every time I go to Manchester, I get a bus lane ticket. So I have to like some follows, guys. Appreciate it. Love you long time. Yeah. Uber's definitely got the thing with Uber. People love Uber because the app is so easy. There's no cash, no problems. The drivers, even if they're clueless and they don't know where they're going, they still got like it's very simple to drive them and stuff like that. The problem with Uber these days, what I've heard from multiple sources, is just the inconsistency of it. You can't rely on Uber no more. Do you know what I mean? Because people say to me all the time, "Oh, because I've got the airport company, DM airport transfers, by the way, drivermatty.com. Because I've got the airport company, people say, and you're competing with Uber. I'm like, no, it's two different fields. Because a lot of people aren't relying on Uber to go to the airport or to get picked up after a large event no more. Because drivers won't accept the cap rates. So they're becoming very inconsistent. So if you're going to like a big festival, you got like an early morning airport, and you don't want to Toyota Yaris pick it up, or like a flipping Ford Galaxy to pick the 60s up with luggage, then that's why they're booking through companies like myself, for the airport transfer companies. Do you know what I mean? Two different markets. Private transfers compared to local taxi, local Uber. Do you know what I mean? Uber's main competitors is your other private hire companies like your Veezu, like your iCabby Exchange, and your other local companies. Do you know what I mean? My competition for the airport company is other airport companies. I came back from Manchester when I got a job up there, and their system knows your patterns. I'll offer your jobs back for well less than £1 a mile, as they know it'll take it. Yeah. Your dead miles, they'll just offer you crap because they know you want to get home. They know, mate, it's Uber's algorithm. It's just so advanced. It is so advanced that like we don't even know how it works. They'll have AI on top of AI on top of AI, giving the work out. Do you know what I mean? Uber lost against Delta and Veezu, mate, yeah. I've always seen Facebook groups asking for recommendations for companies. No one mentions Uber. Yeah, because you can't rely on it, mate. You can't rely on it, mate. I use Uber as a passenger. I do. I think it's great. If I'm going to town, if I'm going for a meal, if I'm going out to the pictures, I'll use Uber. If I need to go somewhere that's important, or if I need to get picked up, I imagine like a Coldplay, not Coldplay, Oasis. We had so many bookings for Oasis. Do you know what I mean? And then when we were waiting for customers, our customers come out with people begging, going, "Take me home." It's raining, and like no one's picking up on the app. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, and that's a problem. And then I had someone book. They had 2 tickets, 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night, and they booked me in on the Saturday because I'm more expensive for the events than Uber, obviously, but we're pre-booked, different service. And they come to me on the Saturday and went, "Oh, any chance you can pick us up tonight?" I'm like, "It's a bit last minute." So I know, but we went to Oasis last night and it took us 3 hours to get home. We were soaking wet. No Ubers would take us. Blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? Because no one. If you're working Uber and you're at a festival and they're muddy and all that, and then a job comes for £1 a mile, £8 to Manchester, you're not going to take it, are you? Do you know what I mean? Uber got work everywhere. Seems to be fair, Uber. Yeah, Uber won't give up until they have the full monopoly. Yeah, Uber's got to have the full monopoly on the transport industry. I reckon, even now, mate, even now, you've got Apple and Google and all that. Do you know what I mean? You got your Amazon who controls controls the parcels. You got like Sky who controls the internet and the telly. I reckon Uber's going to be controlling the transport. I still think they will. I don't think nothing's going to beat them. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, they're into trains now and Uber boats and helicopters and everything. Uber piggybacks coming soon. I'm paying 130 quid for a car and insurance and £7 on electric. I'm taking home 600 after 5 days of easy shifts. If I hammer it, I can take home £1,000. Nice one, Adam. They go on about acceptance rate this morning. They offer me a job 10 miles away, going 4.5 miles for 6 quid. Sounds about right, mate. Sky of internet, yeah. I know, I'm on BT, mate. Uber will have full monopoly. Eventually, rates will go up, but drivers will reduce, which means more profits for them. I reckon the rates will go up with Uber, 100%. But I don't reckon the drivers will receive it. I reckon the Uber will just take more. I reckon what the Uber drivers are getting now. I reckon that's what we're gonna get going forward. If Uber increases the fare or do anything passenger side, I reckon they won't transfer to the drivers. Uber put millions and millions of billions launching into the UK and over that, launching and put mega money in. They need to claim all that back now. Do you know what I mean? Look at the States; they take 70%. Honestly, as soon as you got the monopoly, they probably up the fares for the passengers, 100%, charge them more. But doesn't mean that transfer to the driver. If you got a driver picking up £1 a mile fare, why would you pay them more? Why would you pay them more? Do you know what I mean? If Uber charges the customer 3 million quid and the driver's willing to do a fiver, why would Uber pay them more than a fiver? They wouldn't. Their business model, they don't care about the drivers, don't care about anything. It's just a business model. It's just a massive business model. To maximise the profits, you know what I mean? £7 worth of electric doesn't last you 5 days, mate. I'll be honest with you, mate. I think that figure is a little bit stretched. I've got an EV car, mate, and it's £5 or £4.50 for home charge for it's like 200 mile. Yeah, I thought it would have been £5 a night. £7 a week, doable. I can't see that. £7 a week will get you about £7 a lecky. Will get you about 300 mile home charge. Tesla Model 3, mate. Doesn't matter what a Tesla Model S. It's about facts, isn't it? You can't get no less than 7p per kilowatt overnight charge, and most Teslas run at 4 mile per kilowatt. So it's 4 mile for 7p. So 10 miles. 40 miles is 7 quid or whatever. 70p. Yeah, whatever. About 300-400 miles, 7 quid. Get a hybrid car. Ugh. New York in February. I thought you said New York in February, it was cheaper to get a limo than get an Uber from the airport to Wall Street. A difference of $60. It was cheaper to get a limo than an Uber. Stop it. See what I mean, though? Uber, like I said, Uber's not cheap, mate. I kicked off them last week when we used to get holiday pay for Tuesday. I earned 1,150 quid and received 108 quid holiday pay. A few weeks ago, I earned 1,160 quid and received £79 holiday pay. Oh, mate, that's a big one. I always forget about the local companies. Your tips, mate. Your tips on local companies is unreal. A lot of people say that the tips with local companies actually pay for the settle. Do you know what I mean? Oh, have you got the new thing? Yeah, he's right. I've seen it. The fixed charge thing for £30 a month. You were right, mate. I do apologise. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about the thing, the £30 a month thing for Octopus Energy. Does Uber cap how much you can earn in a day? Not really, mate, but they cap per hour, they balance it. Do you know what I mean? Uber loves their customers, love their profits, but treat drivers as disposable entities. But we are disposable, aren't we, really? So after likes and follows, guys, by the way, guys, I'm going off soon. It's an hour and 40 minutes. I could have watched the film instead of sat here talking to you guys. Who won? Uber lost, my guy. Uber lost. Yeah, Uber lost. And what I'll do is, after I end this stream, you can rewatch the YouTube live on my YouTube channel if you want to go check that out with the full thing. I'll do a little TikTok and Instagram and a YouTube short just to explain what happened. And I'll do a news article, DM News. I'll do a news article as well, explaining it a bit better, so you all can understand what happened with the case. Because it is a big deal, guys. It is a huge deal. To after likes and follows, guys. So make sure you're following me and subscribing to me, because you won't see these awesome content videos of me swinging in my chair, sweat me tits off. Matty, bro, drivers have the power. Mate, drivers have zero power. If you think that drivers have the power, you are delusional. My advice to you, mate, is stop trying to change Uber and either work for them for your own benefit or don't work for them and do something else. Stop trying to change a multi-billion pound company. We have not got the power when you're self-employed. Zero power. The doctors have power. The doctors have power, because that's a well and truly sanctioned pain in the ass flipping strike, where your mum is not going to get medical help if they don't help the doctors get the strike. Do you know what I mean? If Uber drivers strike, there's going to be more Uber drivers behind them cleaning up and making loads of money. There is no unity in self-employment. Every strike we've seen is like 7 people with a sign going, Uber, Uber. Well, there's Uber drivers driving past them, working. Unfortunately, mate, that's just the way life is. Either work for Uber, use Uber for your own benefits, use Uber to help you do whatever you do. If you like Uber, great. If you don't like Uber, move on. There's a billion other things you can do. Do you know what I mean? We need a strike. We don't need a strike, mate. Should be a national strike. Oh, God. Well, like the last national strike, mate. The last national strike. I done a video on the last national strike. And every city, there was not a single strike. Every fake job I tried to book in a single city, I got picked up. The strike will never work. God, the strike, flipping strike, self-employment strike. Never heard so much crap. Andy, capitals. Striking will get you nowhere. Too many drivers will ignore it. 100%. Do you know what I mean? Uber's great. Uber's great for a passenger. It is. If you're going somewhere not important, Uber's great for a passenger. It really is. Do you know what I mean? For drivers, it's not. I've said in the past, if don't let Uber use you, you use Uber. If you can make Uber work for you personally, then you make it work and clean up and do whatever you need to do. If it's not working for you, stop trying to fight the multi-million-pound industry and just go and get another job. Do you know what I mean? We're a private hire driver. Well, for one, you're a private hire driver. Uber's not the be-all and end-all. Uber is just one app-based company that provides a private hire driver with work. I have been on Alpha Mate. I've been on all the locals. I started on the locals. 100%, mate. It's like flipping. Yeah, Netflix has just recently upped the pricing, or Netflix has just added adverts on. Do you know what I mean? Are we going to strike for Netflix or just go to Amazon Prime? That's exactly what we need to do. I'm not happy with Netflix. I'm going to strike outside Netflix head office. I want those adverts gone. Who's with me? Or you just go to Amazon Prime. Do you know what I mean? Or just go to flipping the other Paramount Plus or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Stop trying to fight the international companies. It happened in America. Never happened in America. All the strikes in the world didn't happen. Yeah, mate, the insurance is gone off the chain, mate. The private hire insurance is gone mental. I know one of the lads, he had a 9-seater minibus, and some reason on his renewal now, no one will insure him. He's got to get rid of the 9-seater minibus and go back to a car because no one will insure him. Literally just said no. Yeah, Veezu will get as big. I reckon Veezu's going to be big, mate, definitely. Yeah, not happy with Netflix. Just buy a Fire Stick. My advice from my accountants. It's true though, isn't it though? Hey, it's you know what? Asda's gone so expensive. Who's coming outside Asda with me? Hey, who's coming to strike outside Asda with me? Go on, I'm not happy. The apples are more expensive than the oranges. You know what I mean? You're just gonna go to Tesco, aren't you, Ronaldo? Oh God, Uber's just a supplier of work. We're self-employed drivers. We've got no ties to anyone. We are a self-employed person and a self-employed driver. They are a supplier of work. Do you know what I mean? Do you reckon a builder who has a supplier for this house contract will strike against him because he's charging £1 per brick instead of £2 per brick? He's not. He's just going to go to a different building site, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? Oh, strike! It just does me head in. Self-employment strike. Never heard so much crap. Uber's impacted a lot of taxi fares, mate. 100%. Do you know what I mean? My insurance is 3k. Next quote's 22k. Damn. Oh, mate, I'd protested Asda, like. I'd protested Asda. And to be honest, I'm more of a... Have you got the Ocado? Ocado's nice. It's like the Marks and Spencer specials. Food's lovely. And it works for a similar price, to be honest. Ocado, just for you. Now, listen, guys, I am absolutely sweating in this office. I can't open my window because all you'll hear is flipping police alarms and ambulances and all sorts. So I'm going to go and have a cool off now. I've been live for nearly 2 hours, guys, right? Listen, give us a little like and follow. Follow me on all my socials. Check out drivermatty.com. Much appreciated for everyone who supports this channel. It makes a massive difference to my life, guys, honestly. I love the love, all the love. I much appreciate it. Got a great community on both sides. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to do a TikTok and a YouTube video now with the results. I'm going to do a news article on DM News in the next half an hour. That news article will tell you exactly how the court case went. All right, guys. Nice one. Much appreciated. Thanks for getting tuned in. I'll catch you all soon, yeah? Ta, guys. Ta, guys.